Hello, this is Mr. Evilcheese.
And I'm Zombie.
And this is our review of The Walking Dead 5-inch Daryl with new bike action figure.
Frankenbike.
The old one said Daryl with chopper. This one just says Daryl Deluxe box set. Guess they didn't want to call it a motorcycle. I don't know. Maybe they didn't know what to call it, so they're just like, Daryl box set. I lied! On the top you can see that it's Daryl Dixon with Custom Bike. So, it does say
Technically, it says Daryl Dixon with Avicon Custom Bike.
Yeah, whatever. And they call this like the Frankenstein bike because it's just a bunch of parts thrown together. That's cool they made this. I didn't think they would make this so soon because they already released the other box with the other bike, and it's you can still find that in some places. But in the back there's a picture of the one that's in this box for some reason, and then also the color tops over here, and
The piece of poops.
picture of Daryl playing with his fingers or something
Cracking his knuckles.
on that side.
Because he's about to smack a bitch.
This is a wraparound picture of Daryl. Okay, it's open. Okay, so there he has opened up, and I think he looks more like Norman Reedus than the last Daryl, but I still don't think he's like perfect or anything, but he's still...
It's pretty good on this one.
My biggest gripe though really is that he has a really hard time getting that crossbow into both hands. It wasn't so hard on the last two Daryls. By last two I mean the one with the bike and then the original one. They can both hold their crossbow with both hands, but this one really was hard to get that into both hands. But there's a look at his face, which I think for the first time the 5-inch figure actually looks like Norman Reedus. At least to me.
Yeah. He's got one of those faces that it's got to be really hard to get it right. They almost never do. But I think the sculpt on this looks pretty good. It's just he looks a little bit orange.
Yeah, he's got a spray tan on. Norman Reedus is pretty pale, and this guy's not pale at all, this figure. It's very tan looking. And this one's not real pale either, but...
Yeah, that one, he's darker than Norman Reedus, but he's like 3 shades lighter than the new one.
I think it looks so much better, though. Big problem with this one was the hair. The way it's kind of...
Yeah.
It's a separate piece, and
It sticks up too much, which on the new one it still sticks up a little bit, but it doesn't look as weird because it's sculpted in.
Yeah. And, I don't know, just the face, like his chin, around his eyes, just definitely looks better on the new one.
Yeah.
Like the old one, like I said, it looks like he's kind of like Mexican or something, or...
I think it looks like his face is swollen. Like they were trying to do, like he has that almost like a puffiness under his eyes naturally. And I think that's what they were trying to do, but they just make him look like he got stung by a bee.
You can see the detail in the hair better on this new one too, I think. Well,
yeah.
Sort of. I don't know, something about this looks better. And they gave him mostly all new sculpts that I can tell. I think it's up here around his hips and his thighs, I think, are the same sculpt.
Yeah, they're just painted slightly different.
But below is different, because he's got things wrapped around his legs on this sculpt, but they're not on this one.
Well, actually, the thighs and pelvis look the same, but they're more textured on the new one. And other than that, they look the same. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the paint or what. But the upper body's definitely different, because he's got layers on. He's got like he's got a vest over a jacket over a shirt. And it looks kind of weird with the articulation there, because it all turns. But I'm okay with that. And obviously the sleeves are different, because they didn't have sleeves in the old one. Pretty similar. I wish his wings here showed up a little more. They're kind of hard to see on this one.
Yeah, on both of them, they made them too dark. I don't get why they did that, because they should be like a dull white.
I don't know why they did that. It's got a new butt rag though. I mean, look at this little dinky
Deluxe butt rag.
Yeah, this one's huge butt rag. You can wipe multiple
He
butts.
must have had diarrhea that day. I'm going to take my big butt rag.
And he's got a rip in his elbows up there. But then you turn it and it's like, what?
Even if you bend it, it's like, what?
But still, it's cool they put that in there. Here's a comparison to this old Daryl from the very first series. Well, this is actually the one they re-released in the box set, but still, it's the same exact sculpt as the first series. And some people liked this face sculpt. I didn't. I don't think it looks right at all. I mean, it's got the way his hair was, sort of, in that first season, but...
I don't think his face looks right.
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it looks like him. But... And it's the articulation on this one is very weird.
His pointy legs.
Yeah. And especially his weird stubby arm thing he's got going on. They did this so that he can hold his crossbow, but it just looks odd.
That's not a good figure, in my opinion. I really don't like that one.
No.
It doesn't look like him, and the way they did the articulation, he's just weird and misshapen and ugh.
Because Daryl needs to hold the crossbow, they should have did something better with his elbow articulation. Either gave him double joints or did something like this where it's just there's wide range. Because it really sucks. He can just barely hold on to his crossbow in two hands. So I guess the paint on him is mostly good. There's some mess ups, like you can see it looks like he may not have got his beard on there because it looks like it should be all the way to the back of his jaw there, but it's not really there.
That still looks okay though.
Yeah. And I like the way they did the eyes and the little mustache. I think it looks just right. They painted the hair pretty good. And like you're saying, he does look kind of like all of his jackets and shirts and pants all kind of blend together in a way.
Yeah, it's monotone. It's very
that's
brown.
It's kind of the way he is on the show, but still I would like a little bit of variation.
Well, I mean, it's usually at least different shades. Like his shirt, vest, and jacket are all the exact same color of brown.
Yeah, well, pretty close. Because I think that underneath is different. Just barely.
I think it's just shaded.
Maybe. But yeah, I would like it to be a little more. I think his jacket should be more closer to black.
Yeah.
That's the problem they had with this Daryl, I think. I threw him across the floor.
Fuck this Daryl.
I think his vest should have been black. A little more black. And even here it's kind of brown. I don't know.
I would definitely say he's the best Daryl figure yet.
Yeah, definitely.
He's very, very good, but he just still has a few issues.
Not all of them have issues, but
minor issues.
Yeah.
For me, I would say the only thing I really don't like is his orange skin. Everything else is minor, but that's kind of a larger mess up.
Well, there's something weird with the hands too, I noticed. It's got the same hand sculpt. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's like it's thicker on this hand. Like I don't know if they put the paint on so thick that it just, especially in the thumb, you can see it.
Yeah.
Like his thumb looks normal. This one looks like it's swollen.
Steroid thumb.
Yeah. Let's go articulation. Okay, his head can't really go back and forward very much. You can turn to the side. Then up to the shoulders. It's pretty good shoulder articulation. The elbows, like I was saying, like it can't even do 90 degrees. Like it's close, but I just wish it could had a little more there so he can hold his crossbow. I almost wonder if maybe you cut a little bit of that off if he could actually do it.
Probably.
I might try to do that. And it could spin there. Then at the wrist, it could spin. And there's also a hinge joint, which is a little bit hindered by his sleeve. And then there's this joint up there in his chest, which you can spin around.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's pretty cool. It doesn't look bad because I didn't even know it was there till you started moving it.
And Then at the hips, he's got the Daryl articulation, because he's Daryl.
Be pretty fucked up if Daryl didn't have the Daryl articulation.
Yep. Oh, look at that. That's scary. You can see it like wanting to pop apart there. Gotta be careful with these guys. You can do a split. You kick forward.
His butt cheek looks funny hanging down there.
Cover it up with your butt rag.
Put his other leg forward so we can see a bubble butt.
Cover that shit up.
That's why he really has the butt rag.
And then there's a joint at the knee, and it can spin around a little bit. Down at the ankles, there's a little bit of articulation, but it's hard to do anything with it. So he's pretty well articulated. The weakest part, I'd say, is his elbows, which should be more articulated.
They can bend backwards, which they should not be able to do, but they have trouble bending forwards.
Okay, comes with a crossbow. It's the same damn crossbow. Paint's a little different, just slightly different shades of green and stuff on this part here. This one broke off of this one.
Looks like the strap's longer too.
Is it? I think they put it on backwards. Yeah, it's on different. So I don't know which one's right, but this one's on one way, this is on the opposite. And here's his little knife, which fits in his sheath.
His butter knife. Why is it so round? It really looks like a butter knife.
It does. See if you can hold it. Oh.
Not really.
I think you can get, yeah, you can hold it in that hand. Well, it's still a little loose. He's got it.
I'm gonna butter your toast.
Does it really have a silver handle like that? I can't remember. You might have a different knife now, I don't know. Yeah. And he comes with this accessory, which you may have noticed.
Nobody cares about that.
It's his new Frankenstein bike, which is really crazy looking. It's pretty cool. I really liked his chopper, but this is also a cool one. Now that he doesn't have a chopper anymore. It reminds me of sort of like a Road Warrior vehicle, in a way.
It's very apocalypsy.
Yeah. And in the show, Daryl builds this himself out of parts that Aaron found. Well, I guess it was an Aaron house that Aaron moved into. Had all this stuff in the garage. But it's a really cool looking motorcycle. It's very colorful too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way the headlights on one side instead of in the middle. Got wires popping out everywhere.
It makes me think of an old Johnny Cash song that nobody else will know. Called One Piece at a Time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're familiar with that song, you'll understand why, but you probably aren't. So look it up, it's a good song.
Look how this looks all rusty. And
It's all very nice and dirty and worn and yellowed and ucky. How it should be.
I like all these little pipes coming down.
Mm-hmm. I really like all the different stuff that they use to build, like the bike in the show and this has like copper pieces in different colors.
I like these pieces with that, like the little girl type texture on it.
Girl texture?
Grill. I don't know what you'd call it. There's the kickstand. The kickstand has this little joint there.
That seems like a really tiny kickstand.
And it could spin around. I was worried when I turned this down I wouldn't be able to hold it up, but the joint's really tight, so it actually does hold it up.
That's good.
And well, I think it's because it can't go up any further. Didn't
the old bike connect to a stand or something, or is that just a little one?
That was just a little one. Well, I don't know. That might have been a big one too.
I thought it had like a little
I think
peg hole in the tire.
Oh, there's a seat. Reminds me of like some kind of bug's shell or something. Cockroach or something. Yeah, what's this back here? Is that
It's a roach butt.
Where does his I forget. Yeah, I know he has a place to put this on the new bike. Is it on the back of here? Can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I don't know if that's what that's for. You can actually put his crossbow on the back of the bike, right there on those pegs. So there's two bikes together, and it's kind of hard to pick which one I like better. I think I like this one slightly more. Well, it does. Yeah, it does have a little
have that. I knew it did.
But I do like the new one. I just kind of like the chopper look of this one.
Well, if I was gonna own one of them, drive one of them, it would be that one. But I like them both. The other one's definitely more Mad Max Apocalypse looking.
Yeah, they're both really cool. You can see the wheels on this one are real skinny. This ones are bigger. This looks like tire tracks. I mean, they're tire treads for going in the dirt or something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That one looks like it'd be more capable of off-roading, which would probably be very handy in the apocalypse.
Yeah. And here's the fronts. Very different looking. And here's the buttholes. Look what happened. He didn't break, he just popped apart. But look at that. You can see Daryl's.
Looks fucking weird.
I was trying to lean him over to get him on his bike, because so far it doesn't seem to be working too well. So if you want him to sit down, there you go. He can't steer because he can't reach. Poor guy. He got his feet down on there. His butt's down on the seat. Can't lean over any further. So he doesn't fit right. So that's another gripe. Now if you want him to stand up, I'm sure that'll work. So we'll do that. And that's what happens when you put his hands on the handlebars.
He's going over jumps. That's
Yep.
why he's standing.
Looking straight down at his bike instead of where he's going.
It's because he's a daredevil.
But on the previous bike, you can actually sit on it and look like he's riding it. This one, it looks, yeah, you can't make him sit down.
Just make him stand in front of it and look really cool.
I think that's what you gotta do. You want him to ride it, too bad. Maybe the old Daryl will fit better, but I don't think so. I think it's just the shape of the bike, and they didn't change his articulation enough to make him fit it. Zombie Cat put the older Daryl on the bike, and he can fit a little bit better. He can almost sit down with this nice, weird looking butt. So, yeah, I think it's just, this one's just not articulated enough, and I think his arms might be a little shorter or something, I'm not sure.
They just don't bend forward as well, I think.
So you can see Daryl fits up really good on his old bike, but this one just doesn't fit as good.
I got him with his butt down a little bit further by taking his feet off of the pegs and just letting him hang.
So,
I think part of the problem is his arms, and the other part is his knees don't bend enough.
yeah. So they made this Daryl, they gave him extra articulation. That was the first time they had this articulation, so he'd fit the bike. So they should have did the same thing with this one and gave him enough articulation that he could fit on the bike properly. Yeah, so if you just pretend those pegs his feet go on or down here and not right there, and it looks like he's sitting on his bike better. So I bet that's pretty much all you can do, I guess. So there's Daryl next to Gravedigger Daryl. Almost forgot to compare them. And put the crossbow into old Daryl's hands. And here's my attempt at making jacketed Daryl. I just never finished him, never painted his jacket or nothing. And his hand kept popping off.
I thought maybe he was just trying to be Comic Rick.
Maybe. But yeah, this one definitely looks better, the new one. There's Daryl next to his girlfriends. Oh! Carol's like, mine!
That's just like, whatever, I don't give a shit.
I rubbed my butt on you! What the hell happened? It's like he just did flips or something there.
He fell over and bumped her with his crossbow.
And there he's next to Rick.
Rick-a-dick.
Yeah, that's cool seeing him again. I think I will probably paint some of him black, because I do think there's a little bit more black to some of his jacket and vest.
I wish you could change his skin color without messing him up, because that's so orange. He looks Trumpy.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be hard to paint that.
Yeah, because you'd definitely have to repaint his mustache and beard and everything, and that would just fuck it all up.
Well, this is the only one I've seen in person. Maybe some other ones aren't as orange as this.
You should shop around, see.
Okay, so I really like the bike. It's a really cool looking bike. They did an awesome job on it. The detail on it is amazing. All the parts and colors, and it's just a really well done bike. The wires, we didn't even really mention the wires. They did that on the old chopper too. But it's just really well done. I'm surprised McFarlane doesn't make more vehicles.
Yeah,
But the Daryl, I really like the sculpt of the head. It looks so much more like Norman Reedus than the other two did, I think. And I like that they gave him a new version where he's got the jacket on, updated butt rag. But yeah, he's got a couple problems like the orange skin color
and the articulation.
Yeah, he can't really sit on the bike very well, and it's difficult to get him to hold the crossbow in two hands. It's possible, it's just difficult. Still, overall, I like him. I'm glad there's a new 5-inch figure out. It was articulated, so that's pretty cool. So
yeah, I'm very impressed with the face sculpt.
Me too. And I definitely like the new bike. Even if you don't, for whatever reason, don't like this particular Daryl figure, the bike would be worth it for me to get it.
Yeah, I think the bike alone is pretty cool, and you can make your old Daryl sit on it if you don't like the new Daryl.
Yeah. So I like it. Well, this is Mr. Evilcheese.
And I'm Zombie Cat.
Batman, Robin, Aquaman.
Penguin.
Who says I can't fit on my bike?
Oh, damn it, man! You see them other pictures there? Why don't you click on one of them to see the video? Or you could subscribe, Nate. Oh!